Okay, hi everyone. I'm just waiting for some more followers to join in. Firstly, apologies for coming down 10 minutes late. I was down with some work. Okay, once probably we hit the 300 mark, we can just start off with the live video. I'll also save the video once I finish off with the live session. I hope the voice is clear. If not, somebody could just let me know in the comment section that the voice isn't clear. Okay, I think more or less we have hit the mark, so I think we can start off now. I've been intending to do this live session for quite some time now, but because of certain work pressures and I was not able to get in. So the most important question that befuddles any UPSC aspirant is that how do you keep yourself motivated? Let me assure you, UPSC is a well drawn out, tedious procedure or a tedious exercise or a tedious, attempt that you make. Let me not paint the whole a very rosy picture for all of you. It is one of the toughest exams, as you all know. Having said that, the most important thing that you need to realize here is that UPSC examination is not only a test of your intelligence, but most importantly a test of your perseverance. So you need to stick on to the game, you need to continue doing that, and that's most important. I'll just start off with my own basic example. Now I cracked it in the third attempt. The first attempt I cleared tree, second tree, and again third tree. Now in the first attempt I could not qualify for the mains. Second attempt I did not qualify for the compulsory language paper, which is like one of the biggest setbacks that one can experience, where you don't know what your marks are and other things. So how do we overcome that? How do we stay motivated in such a situation? Let me tell you one thing. Any UPSC aspirant, I request all the fellow followers, aspirants, to give it a good solid 3 years for preparation. That is a minimum of 3-year preparation, and your attempts, that is 3-year in completion. The reason I tell you is that the sheer scale of examination is so that you need qualitative preparation. At the same time, various factors come into play, and that is what will ensure your success. So give it good 3 years. I am sure with good preparation and lots of factors playing in, you will make it for sure. Now the third attempt, I made it into the mains, and then to the interview, and then into the Indian Police Service. Indian Police Service being my first preference. So how do I keep myself motivated? These 3 years that I took to crack the civil services. First and foremost, let me start off with the cliche. I am sure umpteen number of aspirants and followers, seniors would have told you, your teachers, stay positive. Okay, so this is the easiest cliche I can start off with. When I say stay positive, what I mean to say is that you should have a very, very positive mindset. You should have a clear and a very concise goal. Okay, this is where I want to be 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line. At the same time, having clear-cut, concise goals is not important. Also, having a plan of action which will ensure that you get that success is also important. So, stay positive, clear, defined goals, and to ensure that, you also need to keep in mind you should have a plan of action to work towards that. Lastly, when I say positive mindset, it also involves having a realistic expectations and a realistic goal setting. Now, what do I mean by saying that? It's as simple as that. You should say, I'm going to give 2 attempts for UPSC. If this does not work out, I have an alternative plan B. So this way you have a very clear-cut mindset as to what your goals are at a very specific point in time, and how you're going to deal with that if you don't crack UPSC. So that is most important. So this allows you to not get into a negative mindset when you don't crack it in your first attempt or second attempt, because you've given yourself 3 years and you're working hard towards it, and then you see how things go. Now, third most important thing, what I feel is most important is that while staying motivated is that have a core set of friends and family who will always stick by you constructively. Now, when I say constructively, they might be friends, they might be family. They should always support you no matter what the outcome, no matter what the results are. So this is most important. Always the tendency among UPSC aspirants, including me in the initial months or years, was that we tend to take too many advices, we tend to ask too many people, we tend to refer too many books, we tend to interact with too many seniors, we tend to interact with too many people, getting too many advices. So it's as good as too many cooks spoil the broth. So just stick to one set of clear-cut goals, as I was telling you. Stick to good set of friends, good set of family who will support you through thick and thin, no matter what the results are, and this is most important. My simple plan of action was I maintained a very small set of friends. Let me warn all the aspirants here. I see a tendency among a lot of aspirants that they have this huge study groups. Trust me, there is not a single productive work that happens in huge study groups. So what I request is, do not have a study group that is too big. So that shouldn't be the issue. You have a very concise group, small group, who are like-minded, who are hardworking, who match your wavelength, and then stick to them. Also, the times at which these are the times at which family plays a very crucial part. So always stick to your family, get back to their help, seek their advice, keep them in confidence, share what you felt, share your experiences, share your failures, share your success stories with them, and keep them at your arm's length. So this is most important. At the same time, what I personally did was, I ensured that I do not interact with the negative mindset people. Usually in any preparation setting, you always have that friend or senior or this one who always has a problem for every solution, or has a very negative mindset. Ye nahi ho payega, this cannot be done. Why don't you change the optional? Why don't you do this? Why don't you change this? So please do not keep those kind of negative mindset people in your group. Stick to a small, close-knit group of friends and family, and they are the ones who are going to keep you motivated throughout your preparation time. So that is what one thing I can always tell you. So the next thing which I would want to advise and the aspirants to stay motivated is that unclutter. Okay, don't rely on too many materials, too many seniors, as I was telling, too many guidances, too many coaching institutes, too many anything. Just unclutter. Right from your brain, right from your thinking process to the material, to the seniors and to your group. Unclutter everything. UPSC is a very simple ball game. Right from your prelims to your mains to your interview. It's just a test of your personality, intelligence and perseverance. It's as simple as that. Keep it simple. So this is a simple cardinal truth that I can tell you guys, that keep it simple. Your preparation, your set of friends, your positive outlook, the kind of material you use, and I'm sure all you guys will get through at the earliest whenever you wish to. Now another small tool that I used during my preparation time was I used to have this small positive affirmations, or I used to envision something that keeps me motivated. It could be something initially what motivated you to take up civil services. Okay, for example, my family is from a civil services background, and my parents have played a very crucial role in ensuring that I get through civil services. So this is one aspect that I always stress on. So try to get back to those things that motivated you in the first place. It could be some civil servant, role model, your family, or you wanted to do some real good to the society, or you got really motivated by watching a movie, or some civil servant in action who is a real civil servant, who was your collector, your SP, who you saw on ground working and got motivated to work. So try to envision those things. Try to envision, okay, tomorrow if I crack this examination, I would also be doing this. I will be contributing so positively towards the society. I can bring about this set of changes. I would want to do this when I am the superintendent of police. I would want to do this if I am the collector. So try to make those small positive affirmations and try to envision what your role will be and what you would want to do. So this motivated me a lot. Okay, so that is one thing I can say. And for many people, it is the power that attracts them. It is the prestige of the post that attracts them. Whatever be the reason you want to take up civil services for, just ensure you envision those things. So you want to say you want to do something good to the society and give something back, or you have some close issue close to your heart. For example, it could be empowerment of women, or it could be children, well-being and welfare of children, or nature, or climate change. It could be anything. So some thought, some issue that is close to your heart, you can envision them. If I am the SP, if I am the collector, I'll do this. So that is what will keep you motivated. When I tell you all these things, it's also important to note that it's very common among aspirants to feel demotivated at times. You might not crack the prelims in the first attempt. You might not crack the prelims. For example, in my case, I didn't pass the qualifying language paper in the second attempt. So it's very obvious and it's quite natural on part of humans to feel demotivated. So what I used to do is I used to take small cues from everyday life. Like, it could be, an civil servant that you saw, or a Lal Batti Gadi that you saw, a government vehicle that you saw, these SPs, the Superintendent of Police vehicle that drove past you, or the local DCP's vehicle that drove past you, or a senior civil servant that you saw on ground working on field. So these are some cues that you see and you say, okay, what if I place myself in his or her shoes? So I can always do, if he or she can do it, I too can do it. So these are small cues that are in everyday life that you can try to imbibe and envision it. So these are small tricks. Okay, so next important point which I would like to stress on to keep yourself motivated is that don't overdo your preparation part. When I say don't overdo it, there is always a danger of getting sucked into this vortex of getting burnt out. Okay, so the initial josh, the initial momentum and impetus that you have, you tend to push yourself, studying long hours, what you do in this process is that you burn out faster. So what I request all the aspirants is please space it out. Please ensure that you have a clear-cut schedule. So this is the number of hours I'm going to study. Have a realistic goal schedule, realistic goal setting. See, for example, what I study in a particular span of time might not be the same time taken by a fellow aspirant. So I should know my own weaknesses, my own shortcomings, and ensure that you have a well paced out, well laid out plan of action. So don't have this unrealistic goal that you're going to finish the whole syllabus in the next 1 week. So that will compromise on your quality of preparation. Second, it might negatively hamper your health or the flow of work or the flow of preparation. So have a very realistic, well laid out, spread out schedule. So, and keep it very, very practical. Okay, so that is what is important. Lastly, what I see among a lot of aspirants is that they're either in complete preparation mode or in complete relaxation mode. So what I suggest is that please take meaningful breaks in between. So again, I want to connect this whole thing to having a small set of group of friends who are motivated and egg you on. So take meaningful breaks with people, your family, your friends. Go for a short holidays with your friends in between, or take one weekend off. You could take a day off in a week. So what I can share with what I used to do. I used to always take Saturday off. I used to always catch up with my college friends. Have a general talk with them, go out for a cup of coffee, watch a movie, and then come back recharged and start off on Sunday. So this is a small trick, but nonetheless you could use it if you find it useful. Now the last thing that kept me motivated all throughout was a very good friend of mine always used to tell this, and we in our group also, all of us used to feel this when I had a preparation group, is that do not take UPSC examination as a break or make situation. Okay, it's not the end of the world, it is not end of the planet, it's not an Armageddon that you're going to face. It's a wonderful learning exercise, it's a positive, constructive exercise where you gain so much of knowledge, where you gain so much of friends, where you gain so much of understanding, in-depth understanding of how our society works, how our system works, and never make it a make or break situation. It's not the end of the world, end of the life. You need to ensure this and always have a plan B. Now when I want to tie this back to the first point I was telling you, have realistic goal setting. So when I said realistic goal setting, I also told you have a backup plan B. So I want to tie this up with this, and it's not a make or break situation, but also when you have this mindset, ensure you have a plan B and a backup plan. So when your goals are clear and you know, if not UPSC, then you have something else to fall back on, you will not have the pressure. So you all know how the performance and pressure curve works. The more pressure you are under, your performance dips. So please ensure you are at an optimum level of pressure and optimum level of stress that you're taking. Too much of stress, your performance comes down. Too less of a stress also will again bring your performance down. The right optimum level of stress will ensure your optimum level of performance. So stay motivated, stay positive, and always I tell the students and followers who keep inboxing me a lot of messages is that although again I tell you it's a cliche, when you say positive, stay positive, everybody keeps telling you and pushing it down you and shoving it down your throat. When I say stay positive, it merely means understanding what you're capable of and giving the right amount of time for achieving those targets and results. It's as simple as that. Number one, you should know what you're capable of. Number two, you should have a realistic planning as to when I can achieve and what I can achieve. Thirdly, there should not be a letdown in your commitment towards that cause or goal. So, studying 10 hours a day and, taking day off and, the ebbing down of the, the stress or the pressure that you put or the effort should not happen. The effort must be continual, the focus must be continual, and the element of, the element of, what do I say, the element of your motivation should be more than 100%. Never there should be an ebb or flow in your level of motivation. Keep it going, stay motivated, stay focused, stay positive, have clear-cut goals, stay with a common set of friends, small set of friends who can share your wavelength, share your mindset, share your level of thinking, wavelength of thinking. Fall back on your family, envision what you want to achieve. Take small cues in the society which can motivate you. It can be a movie, it can be a role model, it can be a real-time role model or a movie star or some cause that you want to work once you're a civil servant. So all these added together is what kept me motivated. I hope I've been of some help in this, and I'm sure all of you will take it in a positive note, whatever I've told. Lastly, there are a lot of inbox questions. I'm so sorry, first of all, that I receive a lot of requests and questions in the inbox. I'm sorry I cannot reply, but I try my best to at least reply back to 50% of all the DMs that I get. I've jotted on a few questions that I'll immediately jump onto and start addressing. The most common one that I get is that should I really join a coaching, and is coaching really necessary? Okay, let me put this like this. Provided you have a good plan of action, you understand the syllabus of UPSC very well, and you rely on standard textbook, you do not need a coaching. Okay, and over the years I've seen UPSC has ensured with its question paper patterns and the kind of patterns that have been set, that there is a level playing field of people who have afforded training coaching and those people who have not taken up coaching. The only thing which I feel makes coaching useful is that once you're in a coaching institute, you see large swathes of people, large numbers of people. So that keeps you grounded and telling, oh, this is the competition, I need to up my game. So it gives you a sense of realistic the playing field, the kind of players that are in your field, the kind of competition you are approaching. So it just gives you a sheer number so that you can put in that extra bit or the extra force. Good set of quality books, standard books, continued effort, have a clear-cut goal, good set of strong positive mindset with friends. All these put together, great hard work, I'm sure you'll succeed. So not necessary you take coaching. Nextly, they say, sir, can I crack it in first attempt? So I get a lot of DMs asking me, sir, I want to crack UPSC in the first attempt. What is the magic formula? Trust me, there is no magic formula for cracking UPSC in first attempt. UPSC success is a boiling conundrum of lot of factors. Okay, so hard work, number one, good qualitative writing, good gather and hold and grasp of the knowledge and data that you have, a bit of luck factor for sure, there's no doubt about that. Hard work, of course, is the common denominator among all these things. So there is no shortcut, there is no clear cut, I cannot assure you that you will be cracking it in first attempt. Of course, there has been an increase in the number of people who are cracking it in first attempt, but please do not take this as a standard. Do not take this as a norm. So it can happen with anyone, provided you work hard. Give it a solid 3 years, 6 months to 1 year of preparation, and 2 to 3 attempts is a must. This is what I can guide all the aspirants. Next, they ask me when to start studying. Oh, this is a $1 million question again. As early as possible, I would say. The right time, I would say, is that once you get into graduation, or if you're in engineering or any other background, probably in your third or fourth year, and in your graduation, first year of graduation, let me confess, when I was in the first year of graduation, I started preparing by reading newspapers, getting an overall sense of what's happening in the country, the basics, etc. I started preparing, and once I passed out of my graduation, I gave my first attempt. So this is the natural progression of how an attempt must go. If any other questions are there, I'll just read out from the comment section. Sir, do you have a choice or government choice from khaki to navy blue? Okay, this is an interesting question I get. Okay, I served as Superintendent of Police that is Kakinada or East Godavari district till 3 months ago. I was recently shifted as Superintendent of Police Anti-Terror Operations in Andhra Pradesh. So this is the commando uniform that I wear. So that's the reason from shift from khaki to this one. Once I get another posting, I'll be back to khaki again. Okay. So any tips for strong performance in current affairs section? Kalpana is asking this. Okay, it's very simple, Kalpana. All I can say is that do not overburden yourself with everyday newspaper. There is a plethora of materials that are available that concise the whole material and give you a tidbit for on a monthly basis. So what I suggest is do a quick brief reading of the newspaper. I always tell all my aspirants, all my followers, do not spend disproportionate amount of time on newspapers. You need to have the talent, you need to have that skill to know what is important and what is not. I used to make small notes on an everyday basis from the newspaper that I read, and again on a monthly basis I have to pick up one good magazine, and one good magazine, the Newsweek or the India Today or any of that magazine. So pick up that, make concise notes and skim through the newspaper, not giving too much of time. I see a lot of students reading in-depth editorials for hours together. All it does is it does give you a good alternative viewpoint and broadens your horizon. But when you want to write a good answer within a short span of time, you need multiple views, good quality data, and how you want to concise that and write in the answer. So you need to have skimming skills, that is, know what is important, what is not important, make concise notes and then reproduce. I hope that answers that. Sir, is coaching inevitable to crack such exam, or do not please, if so, please keep your suggestions. As I told, it's definitely not a norm, it's definitely not a precondition to crack. So I'm telling you, do not, coaching is not a precondition to crack this. Good quality material, consistent hard work, keeping yourself focused and motivated, and ensuring having good set of friends and reading what you read from standard books and attempting old question papers and writing good answers is the final key to ensuring success in UPSC. So yes, it's not necessary. So preparing for SSC after selection, how can we prepare for UPSC? Okay, I will link this question. Amit is asking this. So preparing for SSC after selection, how can we prepare? So some of the people are asking, is it possible to prepare with your work schedule, or if you're working, is it possible? I cannot answer that question because I did not work. I after my graduation, my masters, then I directly got inducted to the service. but I can give you hundreds of examples from my batchmates, from my friends, from my other juniors who have cracked the exam while working. So it's all about time management, it's all about hard work, the amount of hard work you're willing to put in. Definitely you can crack it with work also. Can you discuss about the language paper and how one can prepare? It's very easy. Beg your pardon. All you need to do is 10 standard level, basics of grammar, good comprehension skills, good translation skills, read one language, watch a local news telecast of the language that you're appearing in, writing regularly, an essay and etc. So that is what will take you long. Take this coming from me, I know I've failed once in the language paper, so it's imperative that you guys focus your energies also on compulsory language paper. So which is this uniform? I already told you, this is the Andhra Pradesh Commando Unit for Anti-Terror Operations. We call it Octopus. सर आपकी यूपीएससी लवर 95 इंटरेस्टिंग यूज़र नेम. सर आपकी राय में क्या हम ऑप्शनल सब्जेक्ट कैसे चूज़ करें? ओके, जो आपने पूछा बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट सवाल पूछा है. आपके ऑप्शनल सब्जेक्ट को कैसे चूज़ करना है, बहुत ही इजी आंसर भी है. नंबर 1, पहले ये देखिए कि आपने ग्रेजुएशन में क्या कर रखा है. इफ़ यू आर एन आर्ट्स और ह्यूमैनिटीज़ बैकग्राउंड, इट मेक्स लॉट ऑफ सेंस टू पिकअप ह्यूमैनिटीज़. अगर आपको ये लगता है कि इंजीनियरिंग बैकग्राउंड से है या साइंस बैकग्राउंड से है और ये स्कोरिंग नहीं है, I can give you a lot of examples where people have cracked this examination with engineering and other science subjects as well. So first and foremost, having the basic, having the basic background or grounding in the subject. For example, if you have done your graduation in a particular subject, that is the best thing to go for. For example, I did my history, economics and pol science. So it made sense for me to go for sociology and public administration because I had already done political science and public administration also in my graduation. So that makes sense. So number 1, your graduation is an important subject. दूसरी चीज़ ये है कि अगर आप ये फील करते हैं कि आपको किसी ऑप्शनल सब्जेक्ट में इंटरेस्ट है, तो आपको ये होना चाहिए कि उस इंटरेस्ट पे भी आपको काम करना चाहिए. सो इफ यू फील यू आर पैशनेट अबाउट समथिंग, यू आर रियली इंटरेस्टेड अबाउट समथिंग, यू नीड टू सेलेक्ट दैट सब्जेक्ट. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, I have a lot of I can give you umpteen examples where a lot of engineering friends have taken up sociology or history, not because it's scoring or it's got good material, but they were really interested in that subject. So number 1, your basic graduation. Number 2, your interest in the subject. Number 3, of course, some scoring. So these are the 3 things that matter. Okay, I think I'll end it here. I need to rush. So what are the other ways to serve a society rather than UPSC? There's a lot of other ways. You can do you can be a part of NGO. For guys who don't know, I have a small group of friends who take up issues related to global warming and issues related to nature and this one. So there are a lot of ways you can do it. Joining in an NGO, working with close set of friends, and many other ways. I mean, umpteen number of ways if you can. Okay, Nandana Singh says, sir, how to control our mind, sir? Okay, I'll give you a small analogy of what the Buddhists say. The mind is like a monkey, so it keeps looking for a lot of distractions. I should rather thank Nandana for that question. I should have addressed that. Your mind has this innate ability to move everywhere other than on studies. So the simple trick is to break down your tasks into small timings and sit focused for a particular amount of time. So that's the easiest trick that one can take up. This is a continuous exercise. I too had this problem of concentration and how to rein in your mind. So please stay focused. Break your tasks into small tasks, big tasks into small tasks. You will learn it over the time. It is not a 1-day affair or a 2-day affair. Consciously plan your task, consciously plan your schedule, consciously plan your timetable, and keep all your distractions away. Number 1, Instagram, your mobile, and as I said, negative set of friends and family members. So keep them away. I'm sure all these factors will ensure you have a focused mind. Sir, I've seen you at Narsipatnam first time. Okay, thank you. I was there as ASP Narsipatnam in Andhra Pradesh. I think more or less that does it. I'm always there. Whenever that is required, I'm available on direct messages. If I'm not able to immediately respond, I'll take some time and respond. So please allow me that, cut me some slack and do allow me that time. I'll ensure I reach maximum number of aspirants. I wish you all the very best. You guys are a very talented bunch of people. You have the internet in your hand, which is the most potent tool. You have the greatest and the best resources and subjects and materials to prepare for. All that is required is stay focused, work very, very hard. You need to work that much more harder than the person next to you. So stay positive, think very, very positively. Ensure that you have a good backup plan. Work very, very hard, as I already said. I wish every one of you all the very best. May God bless you all with abundant success, and hope to see all you guys along with me in the Indian Police Service. I'm waiting to welcome all of you into the Indian Police Service. Thanks, and thanks for the patient listening. Thanks and take care.